Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Unbalanced with me, Cerys Davage. How are we all? Today is a good day because not only is there another episode out on Unbalanced, but it's also an interview episode where we get to meet someone new and someone I've wanted to meet for a while because we've been chatting a lot online. Dom, hello.
Hello, thank you very much for having me.
Thank you for coming on to Unbalanced today. I'm very much looking forward to getting to know you a bit. But first, give us a little introduction. Where are you from and what do you do?
Hi, I'm Dom Shaw. I'm 33 from Medway. And last year I raced with Team Brit, and this year I'll be their ambassador while seeking sponsorship to go racing again in the years to come.
And I'm really excited to get to know a bit about your racing journey, not only as someone who's recently been a converted F1 fan, but also just, I think it's really important to highlight sports and disabilities and, disabled sports, because I don't think we see enough of that unless you're in the industry. Do you agree?
I do, yes. There needs to be more of it, which is what we intend to do as well.
Exactly. So can you give us a little summary of your health journey and your diagnosis?
So from birth, I was born with spina bifida. So my spine was out at birth. So it needed to be closed. It wasn't developed properly. I've got patchy feeling below the knee. I can't feel my feet at all, and I can't move my feet or toes. They also realised that I had hydrocephalus. So hydrocephalus is a build-up of spinal fluid on the brain that doesn't drain correctly, and therefore I needed to be fitted with a shunt, which is a tube that goes inside your head that drains spinal fluid from your brain down into your stomach.
Wow. How old are you when you got that done?
Originally 6 months, and then I had it revised when I was 21 years old.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's a long stint.
The first one lasted until I was 21, and it needed changing from a VP shunt to a programmable shunt.
Okay. Can you explain that a bit? Because I'm a complete amateur when it comes to this.
So a VP shunt is, I was born in 91. So a VP shunt was an older technology shunt where they would set the pressure, or set the flow, shall we say, of that shunt, and that would be it. And then should you need a different flow for whatever reason, they'd need to reoperate on you. And then when I was 21, they put in a programmable shunt, and there's a little magnet just above here. And I say that it's like a bar scanner. If you need the flow changed, they scan you like a bar scanner, right? Like you would in a supermarket. When in the little trolley things.
Yeah.
And they'll scan
Wow.
you, and that's how they can change the flow in your shunt. So no need for any type of surgery.
Wow. So they don't need to open you up and dig around. They can just do it from the outside. That's so cool.
Well, it is, yeah.
Wow. Well, thank you for explaining that. So that actually sounds a lot less horrific than than it sounds at first. So wow. Okay. So you were born with spina bifida. What was that like growing up? What were the main kind of hurdles that you might have faced?
So from a young child, it was hard. Obviously, you are different, even though you don't want to be, you are.
Mm-hmm.
And therefore, I got bullied for quite a lot of my younger years, and that obviously then affects your confidence. Attendance wasn't great at school due to needing operations and things that needed to be amended, and that went on through teenage years as well. But I did all right for the time that I spent in school. I got, I think I got something like 52% attendance. So, really poor. But I came out with good grades. Well, I was happy with that. The challenge is, getting help that you're entitled to and pushing for that help, because there's so much demand. Is very challenging, and it still is to this day, if not even more now for people these days. I was then in a wheelchair from about the age of 7 So using crutches, I still use crutches to this day, but also as well, it helps with a wheelchair, longer days, longer distances, and age. Um, you know, I'm not 21 anymore. You do use it quite a bit to just help you get around, and I've learned to accept that now. Why knacker yourself out for the sake of walking around? Yes, it's healthier. Yes, it's probably more beneficial in some ways, but it's not, because then you're tired, you're knackered, and then that bleeds into the next day and the next day and the day after that.
Yeah.
It's not all been doom and gloom. I'm someone who doesn't stop. Just because I'm disabled doesn't mean it's going to stop me from living my life. I'm that sort of person.
Yeah,
And
me
that's
too.
been from a young age, from the age of 7, my dad had me in a go-kart. From the age of 9, I was doing remote control car racing. And I still do remote control car racing to this day, years and years on.
Oh, that's nice.
I've got friends over 20 years now, just from doing that. So that's good. And that's, where part of my racing bug came from.
Oh, thank you so much for sharing that. I mean, growing up and, being a child and wanting to fit in isn't always easy. So when you've got that extra thing as well, like that's the last thing you want really. But yeah, it sounds like you have managed to turn it into something and not letting it stop you from, wanting to live your life. And it sounds like, well, you obviously were into racing from a young age. It sounds like you were able to turn a hobby into your career, which is
Well,
so cool.
yeah, well, I'm not quite a full-time racing driver yet. Not right now. But
Okay. Well, hopefully one day. So you use the crutches,
Mhm.
but you haven't always used crutches right from the beginning of when you first started to walk. How did you manage, those early stages of learning to walk if you couldn't feel your feet? That really intrigues me.
Yeah, so it took me even a long time to learn to crawl. With the hydrocephalus, it can take a little bit of time to learn things. I believe went onto a frame, so leaning onto a frame, and then from that, then going on to something called Canadian crutches. So if you think of hospital crutches, there's a little slit in the front,
Mm-hmm.
whereas Canadian crutches are circular,
Okay.
because I have a tendency to fall forwards. So the Canadian crutches with the circle round mean that I don't. And it stops me from falling through the
Really?
crutches. And I have tested it, and that does work, because I've used hospital crutches and I fall through them. So, and I also got specially made shoes with calipers, because I can't wear everyday shoes. And
Mm.
where I can't move my feet at all, I need that support around the ankle to keep my foot straight.
Well, now I know a little bit more about that, so that's really interesting. So now you said you're comfortable using a wheelchair. Obviously, it's there to help you, it gives you independence. Was there a part of you that kind of resented it at the beginning? Because I definitely had that, and I'm still working on my relationship with my wheelchair, and I'm sure it'll evolve and develop as I, well, grow to be more dependent on it. But yeah, has it always been a straightforward ride for you? But literally a ride.
That was a good one. Um, so it did take me a while, even into my 20s, late 20s, really. I would use my crutches as much as I could, just because it felt more normal. Other people are standing up, so should I. But as I've got sort of later 20s, early 30s, I don't care what people think anymore. And I really used to care. And now I've got, good group of friends that aren't going to go anywhere. And even if they wanted to, they couldn't. Um, family support as well. If they don't like it, tough, whatever. I don't care anymore. I
Exactly.
just don't care.
That's good. That is the best
Yeah.
mindset to have, isn't it?
It is, because it's painful. Being on your crutches for a long amount of time, walking around left, right, and centre all day, potentially. Why do it? You're only going to be in pain the next day, and you're going to be tired because you've walked all day the following day. Whereas you can be in your wheelchair, wheel around everywhere, probably even quicker than other people are walking, and not be tired and not be stressed and not be sweating because of the amount of energy it takes to walk on Canadian crutches, and not be able to feel your legs. And, it does take extra effort, but even if we don't feel it, it does. It takes extra effort. Then you'll feel better for the next day to go and do something else. And that's sort of where I'm at now. I used to use crutches more at work as well. And a couple of things happened, a couple of falls.
Oh no,
And I thought,
that's
you
never
know what?
good.
Nah. And I thought, do you know what? I'm better off in the wheelchair. And, if I want the photocopier, I've got two hands then, not just one. Because what people don't realise is those crutches aren't just helping us walk, they're helping us balance. So just because you're doing something doesn't mean you can then just automatically balance. So you've got one hand to put something in the photocopier, the other hand got to keep you up. So you've only got one hand. Whereas if you're in a wheelchair, as long as you don't lean back too much, you're relatively balanced.
Yeah.
And then you've got both your hands. You can get there quicker. You can get back quicker. It's a no-brainer. It's not a case of people should think, right, well, they're doing that. Maybe I should. Maybe that's not right for them. Maybe they are better off walking rather than using the wheelchair because they're more able to, and they're not as compromised. Or maybe they are more compromised and they need to be using it more. Everyone's got their own way. We've all got different severities.
Yeah.
And goals and, different things that we will do.
Exactly. Yeah.
Sure.
Everyone's different. No two disabilities are the same or affect people in the same way. And I really like what you said about, not caring about other people, and why would you struggle to try and walk all day just for the benefit of other people not seeing you in a wheelchair? Yeah, just for what they think. And they're probably not even thinking anything. They're probably not realizing that you are struggling to walk and that you're doing this when you should be in a wheelchair. They're probably just thinking, oh, there he is, whatever, and not thinking anything more, not seeing you actually struggle.
Yeah.
But I guess, being in a wheelchair doesn't hold you back. It doesn't hold anyone that you're with back, because, it means that you don't have to stop all the time and hold people back and just be really awkward and, be late to places because you can't keep up, And
on nights out, you're normally the taxi back.
Yeah. That'll be me. That will be me, actually. Although I haven't actually gone on a night out in a wheelchair yet, and I'm actually really excited because I can kind of like take less care of myself if I'm in a wheelchair. I could just kind of let loose and other people can wheel me around.
Yeah. I mean, again, it's only recently I've taken the wheelchair out for nights out rather than crutches. One, because of accessibility and not wanting to not be able to go into somewhere.
Yeah.
Because of this, that, and the other. And, some security guards will be like, are you going to be all right? And it's like, well, yeah.
You should answer, are you going to be all right?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly that. But again, going from bar to bar, it's a lot of effort. So being in the wheelchair makes it a lot less. You'll get people that fall over you and don't look far enough down, but you get used to it.
Yeah. But usually, well, I find, again, not on a night out, but just in general, people do give you priority and notice you a bit more because you've got an obvious mobility aid. Because without wheelchair, people could walk past me not knowing that if they did bump into me, I would probably fall over. But in a wheelchair, they will give me the space to pass. I think people are more considerate when they actually see the mobility aid. So it does come with a lot of pros.
It does. And you're more prone to be able to go to the front and not have to wait in the cold.
Yeah, and people won't grumble at you because, you're in a wheelchair. But if I did that without a wheelchair, they'll be like, why is that person skipping the queue, Which I've had happen to me a few times.
Just don't care what they think.
Exactly. It really, it's taken a lot of time, but I am, I think the most important thing is I know I'm not doing something morally wrong, I know I'm doing this for my own benefit. If people don't understand that, that's completely not up to me to educate them. It's up to them to change their attitude and for me to just not care
Yeah.
what other people think.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to move on to your racing. Tell me a bit about that, how you got into it, and yeah, how are you finding it?
So my dad, when I was younger, used to race. He'd have his car in the garage, and I'd help him on it. I got to pick the number for it and all this sort of thing. And we'd go to Brands Hatch isn't too far away from me, so he'd race at Brands Hatch and a couple of other local circuits where I'd be able to watch him. So I kind of just wanted to be a racing driver from that, but never thought it would be possible because of my disability. And so at the age of 9, he bought me a remote control car, which was a way, it's an affordable way to go racing. It was a way that I could actually access some form of racing that was safe. Like I say, I still do that now. Not as competitively as what I used to, but I still do it because I've done it for years. And like I say, we've got friend groups that we stay in contact with. And I saw Team Brit on a feature on Formula One, followed them on social media ever since, and went and had a track day with them at Donington Park, to try out their world-leading hand controls. From that track day, I think I paid for like 3 laps, came in and instantly just wanted to go out again. I was like, do you have any more availability? And they did, luckily. So I paid for some more laps and was able to improve from the first time and everything like that. The instructor on the day said, have you actually thought of becoming a racing driver? Because that's gone really well. And I didn't realise I would be that good. At the time, the team didn't have availability, so I wasn't pursuing racing as such. And I woke up one day and I thought, if I don't go racing now, when will I go racing? Why wait? What am I waiting for? I emailed the team if there was availability, and there was. So this is in the September. In the October, I went and got my racing license. In November, I met the team. Yeah, it was very, very quick.
Wow.
And then in January, I signed for them for the 2024 season, and we won our class. We won the championship. So that was very rewarding, but unexpected considering it was my first year of racing.
That's crazy.
But Team Brit are a really good team. They help coach me and bring me up to speed very quickly. So I was very pleased with that. But yeah, I had great fun in 2024, and then hoping to bring that into 2025. Should I be able to find sponsorship for the year?
Okay, wow. That's like such a quick turnaround. And I love that you managed to turn this around so quickly, just from trying it out to it being like something that's, prominent in your life.
That's it. Yeah, it
I
was,
love it.
like I say, a very quick turnaround.
That's amazing. Well, you clearly are very talented. And yeah, that's just absolutely incredible that you're doing something that you've always had an interest in, but adapted. So tell us about how the cars are adapted. You said it's with the hands, right?
Yeah. So because I can't move my feet and I don't have full control of my legs, I don't use my legs to drive. So I use their hand controls. The way their hand controls work is where you would expect the gear shifts to be on the left and right. That's where their accelerator and brake are. So you've got the accelerator on the right with a paddle, the brake on the left, and then by our thumbs is where we can change gear. And you've got that on either side as well. So gear up and gear down on either side, depending on what hand that person prefers to change gear on.
That's so cool.
So we don't have to take our hands off the wheel. And then that way it doesn't put us at any disadvantage to any of our competitors on track.
Okay. So do you race against, other adapted cars or, a variety of different cars?
So we're up against anyone. So
Okay.
we're up against able-bodied, normal people that are competing.
Normal people. Love that.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
anyone. So yeah, it's
Yeah.
not just
Oh, wow.
Team Brit are the first all disabled team in the world.
Really?
Yeah.
That's such an interesting fact.
Because Team Brit is an all disabled driver lineup, so only disabled drivers will be racing with them, whether that be physical or psychological disability.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got a range of disabilities. So I've got obviously spinal and hydrocephalus. We've got other people that have had motocross accidents, so they've got their spinal injury through that. We've had other people that are an amputee, and then other drivers that are autistic.
You must feel so proud to be a part of that team, not only because you are the first, all disabled drivers, but you're doing really well as well.
We are. We were really happy to get first in class, and we got a few wins towards the end of the season as well. So I was really happy with that. And it was my first season as a rookie. Unexpected, but really happy with it. Team Brit really helped me get myself up to speed as quickly as possible to enable us to do that. So it's great.
Do you have any kind of future hopes when it comes to racing? Future goals?
So yeah, so short term, I'd love to be able to get out racing this year. At the moment, I can't because of not having a sponsor. So I am looking for sponsorship this year to be able myself to continue racing with Team Brit. The long-term goal with myself and Team Brit is Team Brit's goal has always been to be the first all-disabled racing team to race at Le Mans 24 hours. So when they're ready to do that, I want to make sure that I'm part of that racing team.
That would be so cool.
Yeah.
Amazing. I love that you have those goals, and I really hope that you do end up getting there. So is it kind of all sponsorship based to be able to be a part of the team and to race with the team?
Yeah, so Team Brit isn't a charity. So all drivers have to pay for their own racing seat. So that's done by either self-funding if they're able to do that, or finding sponsorship, and that will then enable us to be able to secure the seat to be able to race with the team.
Amazing. Okay, so this is a call out to anyone who fancies sponsoring. What's in it for the sponsor?
So Team Brit offers hospitality. They can have a look at our headquarters, and they can come in and join us in the pits at any time if they like. They can be on the merchandise, so they can be on the t-shirts, on the truck, or on the car as well, on the overalls and things like that. So there's plenty of opportunities. Also, with it, they've got rights to our images, and also we can create social media. And there's also chances to network with other sponsors within the team. So they organise regular karting events where all the sponsors will get together. It gives everyone a chance to network to grow their businesses as well.
Brilliant. That sounds great.
Yeah, the drivers join in as well.
Oh, I'm sure.
In the karting, we join in as well. We can't just sit and watch. But yeah, it is really good fun. It is a great chance for everyone to get together.
Definitely. And that's what it's all about, isn't it? Community.
Oh yeah.
Show us your t-shirt. I did see the little logo.
This is something I had created for myself. With all my, so this is my own logo here.
Wow.
With my website and social media handle.
What better way to advertise yourself, honestly?
That's it. Yeah, it's all about exposure. It's definitely a way to bring the message out.
I need to start making Unbalanced t-shirts now.
Yeah, I
You've
can recommend
inspired
to
me.
someone,
Perfect. I've got a contact already.
There you go.
Hey, I mean, I get it. It's all about kind of putting yourself out there. You're the one that has to put in the work to grow, and to make yourself known to people. So hats off to you, because it's not easy.
Yeah, some of the easiest ways is through social media. So social media is free for everybody, and it's a great way to reach out to millions of people. I think I'm getting there. It's hard. Yeah, social media is hard.
I can't wait to see where your journey goes with Team Brit. Where can we find you on social media to follow your journey?
But on social media, I'm on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and LinkedIn, all under Domshore Racing. Oh, I'm on YouTube as well. The website is Domshore Racing as well. So if you just type that into Google, that will come up first.
Amazing. Well, it sounds like you're thriving in that area, and I really do hope that you manage to get a sponsor so that you can continue to do this and also raise awareness. And I think you're the first disabled driver I've seen on social media, so I think it's really important what you're doing to kind of just showcase that world, you know.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it's been great.
Thank you so much for coming on to the podcast to chat with me today. It's been really nice to get to know you a bit.
Thank you very much. It's been great to see you as well.
I have one more question before we end the podcast. And if you guys are regular listeners, you know exactly what I'm going to be asking. And Dom, you might even know it yourself. But is there a piece of advice that you would give to your younger self or anyone who's maybe struggling?
So if I could give it to my younger self, I would, we were talking earlier about not caring about what people think. You know, I was someone who was always a people pleaser and wanted people to like me. And I think that was due to where I was bullied as a younger kid, as a primary school kid. And then, you know, wanted everyone to like me from teenage onwards so that I could never go back to that dark place. But, you know, life turned out good. Life turned out good. So, going back to my younger self, I would not worry about what people think. And if there's anything that you want to do in life and you're thinking about it, do it now. What are you waiting for? If you want to do something and you're that passionate about it, find a way. Reach out to, you know, people that are doing it and find out how they started. You know, maybe through a podcast, through, you know, reach out to them, phone the company you might be interested in, turn up at their doorstep to show interest and just follow what you want to do in life. You get one life that you know of, live it. Go on holiday with friends, enjoy yourself, go to a theme park, even if it is going to be a bit harder for yourself in the day. You know, if you want to do it, go and do it. You want to go on holiday by yourself, do it. Live your life to the full. Don't hold back. Plan as much as you can, but just enjoy life. That's what it's there for. Not there to be hard and horrible all the time. There will be highs that we've all had lows, but, you know, enjoy life as much as you can to the full.
I love that. I want to cry. That was beautiful. So, yeah, just beautifully said. Definitely something I'm trying to channel every day of my life. And it's easy to lose sight of that and to get kind of caught up in the daily things, you know, your 9 to 5, your routines. But I constantly need to remind myself of the big picture, you know, that life is short and to just enjoy your life as much as possible. It's really important.
Definitely. Having a disability does kick you sometimes, and it will remind you that you are disabled, even though you want to do all these wonderful things. But just take it one step at a time.
Yeah. And I am finding that there are ways to adapt to things. You know, I sometimes think that, oh, I'll never be able to do this again, or I won't even attempt that. But actually, there are ways around it.
Yeah. And it doesn't necessarily need to always be independent. You know, if you need to ask for help, ask. As I'm getting older, I'm less stubborn than when I was younger, because I always wanted to show that I can be independent, I can do this, I can do that. And you know what? If it's easier and someone's there, why struggle? They're offering to help you, let them.
Yeah.
That was part of my thinking. No, I can do it. I can take all these shopping bags that are up here that I can't see anywhere while I'm on my wheelchair. You know,
You're calling me out right now. That's exactly me. I'm like, yeah, I could do it. Sure.
Yeah. I came out of a supermarket once and I did the whole, I'll be fine, you know, and the eggs fell out or something.
Oh
No,
no.
And it was right outside, and everyone was looking. And then it's not just
Oh
someone who's
no.
dropped their eggs; it's the guy in a wheelchair. And it's like, do you know what? No. Maybe next
But
time
you
it'll be
kind of
someone.
like have no one to blame but yourself. Well, thank you again for that. Yeah, lovely chat. You're so lovely.
Thank you.
And if you guys listened to the end, thank you. I really appreciate that. Don't forget to subscribe on YouTube and to follow the podcast on your podcast platform. Don't forget to rate the podcast 5 stars because that really helps me out. And thank you so much to Cure LGMD2I for sponsoring this podcast. I'll speak to you soon. Bye.